And one last question now. So do in general practice and as a best practice. Do we do a complete load in the aggregation batch job or do we do a delta? Full load in, once in a week or once in a month or something like that, and then a delta every single day. But with sorry I missed the answer. We schedule the task every day, but with a delta, so it will only bring the only data. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought like. Generally, we perform full aggregation in the weekend when we have when the businesses, like users, are not using SailPoint. So we have more memory and processor available, so that time we schedule this additional task. Oh, you still do it once in a week or something like that. Yeah, right, yeah. Okay. Okay, so there are two types of aggregation jobs. One is a delta job and the full a data load job, which is a. Okay, understood. Now, every day, we are bringing this data from the aggregation into SailPoint, right now. After that, we have two again. Once that data is aggregated right, we need to run the refresh task. So now there is no guarantee that your aggregation task will be finished by 8 a.m. So at the 7 a.m., we launch this HRMS aggregation. At M, we want to launch the refresh and DQ. It's not a guarantee that this will be finished by 8 a.m. Someday it can take more time, right? So how to handle this situation? So say, you can give one more feature, that is, you can manage a sequence. Sequence means you can define those tasks in a sequence. Only second task will be triggered. Only in that case, once the first task is completed successfully. So how to do that? Go ahead, new task. Scroll down, you will see this sequential task option to get sequential task launcher. Basically, daily, aggregation and refresh. Basically, it's a combination of two tasks and both the aggregation and the refresh in a sequence. So now you'll see those task name here. So first we have to perform aggregation. So I'll select that. What is the task name? Should be HRMS aggregation. Yeah, then the second task is a refresh and DQ. Right, so what will happen? So first SailPoint will launch HRMS aggregation. It will wait for the completion. When that is completed, it will go to this refresh and DQ now. It will not follow the timings. It will follow the status. If it is completed, only it will start this. Understand this? Yes. Previously there was an issue. If the task was finished before 8 a.m., then we are good, but if task was not finished before 8 a.m., then we are launching the refresh and DQ at 8 a.m. Right, so in some day we can face overlapping issue. So how to avoid that? Put this task in a sequence here. So now SailPoint will launch HRMS aggregation. Now HRMS aggregation. If taking 5 hours to complete. Again. This next task will be only executed after 5 hours. Whatever time the first one, it will execute the second one once the first is completed for the second one, same thing for the third one, once the second is completed, it will launch the third one. So this is how we can maintain the sequence save and execute. Go to task result. First it will launch the HRMS aggregation, then on top of that, it will launch the your refresh and DQ task. so task is basically jobs. It's a bad job, really sorry. Yeah, so now you see HRMS aggregation starting complete, then refresh and DQ starting complete. This is the extraction, load edl kind of process, in which you put tasks together. How many tasks can be put together like? Is there a limitation on that? No limitation. No limitation. You can put n number. Okay, but generally we put task in a way that all tasks should get completed in the same day. So next day is, next day it can start the same. Sequence. Now we'll onboard one application. We have an application here, finance user. So this is the existing data right now. This is one application. Call it finance, basically for finance department. We have this data here. This is the data in the finance team. Now, only thing we understand from here, like few things, that is dash. This is the employee. That means this is, whatever user. Let's say James Smith, employed, is 182C3. That means James Smith has account on the financial application. So the username you can see from here, so you see employed, is same. That means 182 with 182C3A. Okay. These are the 4 account for the Richard Jackson. Richard Jackson has 4 different access. You see group number, accounts payable account receivable payroll analysis, from review right. That means Richard Jackson has 4 different access here. Right on the financial system. Same way, Charles Harris, if you see this record here. 182C3C. Okay, Charles Harris has 4 different access, DBF, financial analysis, financial planning, plan, strategy planning, so we have to onboard this data. Whenever we onboard at any target application, we have to follow a few checks. One is first, we need to connect this application. So we need to see how to connect this. Second, we need to this is again. Yeah, second is basically, we need to see how we can map this data with the existing data. We know this is the existing data we have in our system, right? Here identity, warehouse right. How you will map, for example, Charles Harris right. This is a user. Okay, this is an integrated SailPoint. This user is coming from the HRM system. These are the attribute. Okay, how you will map this user with this data. Right, so we need a common attribute between this data and this. So if you see, we can use employee here, right? This user has employee correct. So when we created here this employee, it will actually, this is the employee. Right, we did copy this. I'll go to debug page. I'll open the UI configuration. Where config open this the same way, we added department and location right. This is the one department and region. Sorry, I will add that search for identity view attribute. This is the one. So let's say, add the employee here, so it also show up here on the first page, employee. Now refresh this page, you see. Yeah, so this is the employee of Charles Harris, 182C, 3C, the same data we have right. So this is a common attribute we need to find out, okay. So we can map that. Otherwise Sail House and Point will know that Charles had his account. This is the same data we have. This data is for Charles Harris. This, for rows for Charles Harris house will Point will identify, so we need to define that.